Hey everybody, I hope everyone had a great 4th of July yesterday. Maybe you got some rest and got to go out and see some awesome fireworks. I think I snuck in a nap or maybe two. But anyway, so today I wanted to come and just share with you about your case study. First off, your case study, it is not due, let me check, let me reference. Okay, yeah, it is due July the 26th. But if you want to turn that in before July the 26th, you are more than welcome to do that. But that is when the last day that it is due. So let's go ahead and get started with that. So of course you want to log into Blackboard and you are going to come over here to course content and click on that. And then you will scroll down until you see case study. It's kind of at the bottom and here it is. Okay. So here are the attached files for your case study. What you're going to want to do is you're going to choose one child out of your classroom, okay? It can be any child that you want. And the first thing that you need to do, we can click on the instructions. Okay. This tells you what a case study is. I don't know if you've ever written one before or not, but it's just an in-depth research method and where an observer just reports attitudes and behaviors on just a single individual, so a single child. You're going to select a child to observe and you're just going to report their developmental levels, okay? All you're going to do is just observe and just draw conclusions, okay? The most important thing about this case study is that you do not use the child's names. Now, this is different from journals. When you write your journal, you can absolutely use children's names. It is not a problem. So go ahead, use their names, that's fine. But in a case study, you cannot use their name, okay? You can give them another name. So you can say, for the purpose of this study, I will refer to my child as Jane. Or for the purpose of this study, I will be referring to my child as John. Or you don't even have to give them a name. You can just use, he said this, or she did this, or I saw them doing this, okay? You do not have to use their name at all, but do not include the child's name in this case study. The only people who are going to see this study is you because you are writing it and me, and that is it, okay? Here are some things that you need to include in your case study. So, I don't think I mentioned this before, but I actually went through this class as a student here at JSU. And so something helpful for me, what I did was I actually took this. It was a paper similar to this when I would go in and do my observation, and I would kind of jot some notes down each time that I went so I could get familiar with the child. I actually, would just hang out with my kiddo and just watch them and talk to them, because how else are you gonna, get to know this child, and especially during this semester because it's really, really, really quick. So here are some things that you can write about, and observe. So just a description of the child observed, their age, their gender. Once again, do not use the child's name. Their physical characteristics, do they have blonde hair? Do they have brown, red hair? Is it curly? Is it straight? Things like that. Is it wavy? Family background. Who do they live with? Who brings them into daycare? Who picks them up? Things like that. Do they have any siblings? Are they the firstborn? Are they the only child? Are they in the middle? Things like that. Family schedule. What time do they get there? Do they stay all day? Is it just a half day? What time do they get up in the morning? What time do they go to bed? Just things like that. Is this their first time at daycare? Or have they been coming to daycare since they were a baby? And just any other information. So you might have to, talk to the parent a little bit, and, that'll be okay. This is some other things that you can observe. their cognitive development, such as language, their vocabulary. Do they have a big vocabulary? Do they use a lot of different words? Do you see any speech problems? Are they able to communicate with words, or do they point to things that they want? Or, do they stutter? Just different things like that. Memory, like, do you play any memory games with them? Like, the little memory card game where you turn over one, they have to find the match, just different things like that. Do they have a big imagination? Do they like to play pretend? Things like that. So how about when you're working in a small group? Are they able to stay on task? Or if you're in circle time, are they able to sit there and listen to the story? Okay, just different things. Emotional development. Do they get angry really quickly, or are they afraid of something? How is just their behavior in general? Social development. How are their relationships with adults? Do they listen and follow directions with adults? Do they not like authority? Relationship with peers. Do they like to play in groups? Do they tend to just kind of stay to themselves? Do they only like to play, if they're a girl, do they only like to play with girls? Or do they play with both boys and girls? Attachment, is it really hard for them to detach from their mom or dad or grandmother, whoever drops them off? Or are they only attached to a certain teacher? Or are they just really attached to one buddy, in the classroom? Things like that. So we hit physical characteristics. Are they tall for their age? Are they kind of the right size for their age? Or are they smaller than most in their classroom? Things like that. Their gross motor skills. How do they run? Are they able to skip? Can they hop? Different things like that. Fine motor skills. When you see them coloring, do they have the correct grip, or do they still kind of do like this? And then just their general physical health. Are they allergic to anything? Just how do you think their physical health is? Have they been out sick a lot? Things like that. And then see how they work independently. If they are at a table or whatever, are they able to stay on task? Do they enjoy working independently? How do they do in large groups, small group? Art activities. Sometimes children that work with glue or slime or glitter or things like that, they don't like those textures. So sometimes art is not their favorite thing. Or using scissors is really hard. Eating behaviors. Are they a good eater? Do they like to eat everything, or do they not? What do they like? What do they not like? Do they throw their food? Are they good at pouring their own drink, or do they have trouble with that? If you get to engage in musical activities, are they able to clap their hands on beat? Do they struggle with that? Are they good at dancing? Do they have fun with that? Just different things like that. If you get to help them with toileting, are they potty trained? Are they not? Are they still working on that? Are they able to wash their hands? And then just outside play, how do they do with that? Make sure you follow up with a conclusion. These are possible conclusions, and you just write something that you just conclude from all your observations. Like, I think the child, if they're getting ready to go into kindergarten, you think, I think this child is going to be successful going into kindergarten, or something like the child does not play in areas based on the sex of the other children. So they play with both genders. The child shares materials, although he protects what is his. The child uses words to communicate wishes to other children. So things like that. So this is a good guideline for how you should write your paper. Basically, just follow this. I don't know why I point. Y'all can't see me pointing. Just follow this as a guideline for how to set up your paper, okay? All right, so we're going to click off of this. All right. This second attachment is the parent permission slip. Whatever child you choose, you need to get the parent to sign off that they are okay with you doing a case study on their kiddo, okay? This just briefly explains that you're in the classroom helping and you are doing a case study. This also lists my information, and if the parent has any concerns or anything, this has my phone number. and they are more than welcome to call me and I can talk to them in more detail about the case study. Okay, and they need to sign it and give it back to you or give it back to your cooperating teacher, and you need to hold on to this because you do need to upload this with your case study. Okay, so I need this back. Moving on. Okay, this is an example of how your cover page needs to look. Okay. All right, this is your rubric. This is how your paper will be graded. Make sure your paper is between 4 and 6 pages in length. That does not include your cover sheet, and it does not include your reference page, okay? Make sure you do have a cover sheet because that is 5 points, and that's 5 easy points. Make sure you have a reference page, 5 easy points. Do not use the child's name, 5 easy points. Please do not put your name on every page, 5 easy points. And please make sure you have a conclusion. That's 10 easy points. It cannot be late. Well, I guess it can be late, but you get -5 for every day that it's late. So, yeah. Okay. Right here, the writing, all you have to do is follow the outline that we just went over. And if you do that, you will have 20 points like that. No problem. Also, if you follow that outline, you're going to have between 4 and 6 pages, and it will come so easy, I promise. Okay. Here are 25 points that are so easy to get. Just double space, make sure your margins are 1 inch, and then you follow this font. And please make sure you indent, and that's easy 25 points. This is also easy points for you to get. Just make sure that you provide examples. If you say that your child had good fine motor skills, just back it up with an example. Like, I saw this because they were holding or grasping their crayon correctly when we were coloring, or they did really well using scissors during art. So it's just back it up with examples that you've observed. Okay. And then I provided you an example. Okay, I blacked out the name, but all right. And this is a student's paper. So you can just see where she followed the outline exactly. She just started at the top and then went down. So we're just scrolling through so you can just kind of see. I mean, you can see it. This is where she put in a reference. Please use a reference from the book. You just have to do it one time. That's all. I just want to get you used to using references if you haven't done it before. And then at the very end, she did a works cited. And that was it. And that's all you have to do. All right. Make sure you cite it using APA. I will upload a little link to the APA to help you reference things, because I know it can get a little tricky and you're like, did I do this right? Did I not do this right? So I will put that in an announcement that I'm about to post here shortly, so you know that you get that correct. If you have any questions about the case study, please, please, please call me, email me, or come by. I will help you. And other than that, I think that's it. So sorry this was a little long, but this is a big project, and that's all. So I hope you have a good day. Bye.